Hey there guys, I'm Chris Brooks, and I want to talk about this drum set trio I wrote called Triple Threat. The first thing you need to know, you guys are playing a trio. You all need to play balanced. We don't need one animal guy and one real light jazz guy, so make sure there's good balance. All three of the parts are equally important in the trio. It's kind of written in three sections. The first section starts out with a pretty straight-ahead rock beat, but goes into a samba. Comes out of the samba, goes into a nice 5/4 kind of Vinnie Colaiuta sort of feel, and then goes from there into an old James Brown shuffle to go out for the end of the piece. Section A has got some step out lines with this groove going on. If you want to, I've got them written as 2 bars each, but you can use those as improv sections if you'd like. Stretch them out, make them as many bars as you want, or just play what's on the page. The 5/4 section of the thing, let me look here, starts getting into a little more unison playing between the three players and a little more power kind of stuff. And then we get into the end here, into the shuffle groove, and it's just got to be real rocking and grooving so those triplets flow real well. And then when you get to the ending, there's going to be a section, if you've listened to the recording, there's a flurry of triplets. And those things are broken up between the three players. Each guy's going to do one of those, but they're all set an eighth note, so you get biddle 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 biddle. So that stuff has to be really nice, sweetly lined up, so you hear that flurry of triplets at the end of the piece. A few other things you want to take into consideration versus what you might do with marching quads. You don't want, each player is going to have 3 toms. You don't want them all tuned the same. You know, you want some broadness in the tuning of the toms. It's okay if everybody uses the same size toms, but you want to get some differences in the tuning, so when you do these unison sections with the toms, they're really, really going to be fat. And pretty much the same thing with the snare drums. Make sure you get 3 snare drums that have got different sounds to them, because there's things jumping around in the piece that'll jump out that the audience will go, what the heck was that? So with the tuning of your drums, make sure there's some difference in the tuning. Not wild difference, but just, we don't want everything the same. And you may want to think the same thing with your cymbals too, although cymbals tend not to sound alike. They just are what they are. You can't tune them. So nice variety of cymbals, particularly with the hi-hat cymbals. All right, and then at measure 80, I mentioned it's an old James Brown shuffle. This is not something you're going to hear very much anymore, but it's off a really cool old record called I Go Crazy. And to play that thing, it couldn't be simpler, but it's a really cool groove. You're just going to play some quarter notes on the bell and little triplet licks in the cracks. With that first triplet, there's a rim shot written, so you're going to get... Get it going fast. It makes this just a really cool groove, and it's, like I say, it's something that's a little off the wall. You wouldn't expect that much. So that's how you play that groove. As far as any of the other grooves, like I say, the middle section is kind of a 5/4 thing. Okay, the 5/4 groove, I've got it written really simple on the page, but you want to make sure that you play a little slop with your left hand, some ghost notes per se. So like what I've got on the page here for player 1 is just... But what you want your left hand... You want to let some little eighth notes slip in here and there, and it'll give the groove a whole lot more air in it and make it groove a lot harder. And the same thing with the other parts. The player 2 is basically playing the same thing, but up on the bell of the cymbal some. So let some little eighth notes slip in your left hand here and there.